Your pricing mostly lives in your head. Quoting gets messy fast. You second guess yourself, you explain the same stuff over and over again, and sooner or later, you price something wrong, usually low. So in this video, we're building a simple pricing strategy doc. For the demo, I'm using shelf help storage, but this works for a lot of service businesses. We'll lay out base rates, minimums, light jobs, normal jobs, heavy jobs, service names, and add-ons. Then we'll do a quick competitor sanity check, not copy them, just make sure your numbers make sense and your offer is clear. By the end, you'll have pricing written down properly so you can stop pulling numbers out of the air every time someone asks. Okay, let's start the timer. Here's the rates I'm using for my example business, shelf help storage. I use tiers because not every job costs the same to deliver. Light, normal, and heavy tiers keeps it fair and consistent while not overcharging for easy work or undercharging for the brutal stuff. We're going to use structure and rules to make quoting much easier. Minimums protect you from 2-hour miracles. For this example, I'm going to use standard organizing minimum of 3 hours and heavy job minimum of 4 hours. That's garage basements and high volume. A lot of stairs, a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of mess generally. Then I'm going to establish a rate estimate from this dollar amount to this dollar amount. That way it keeps it open. Clients understand that, hey, it could vary, but it gives them a ballpark of what they're looking for. Now we write the menu, 5 to 10 services with clear names, plus add-ons like donation runs and labels. This makes you look professional and makes quoting faster. Okay, I'm going to paste one prompt that generates the entire pricing strategy doc. Let's go to ChatGPT, paste in the prompt. So the first part is the rules. The second part is where you're going to replace things. Should be fairly self-evident. And if you've been following along with these videos, we've done this a bunch of times, so you'll understand what I'm talking about. Now, base rates, this is where in the prompt you might change it to fit your business. Basically, this is how your base rates charge. If it's 1 hourly rate, then that's fine. Just put that in there. Okay, now your buffer percent, I like to use 15%. Some people use 20, up to you. This is basically this side of the estimate plus 15%. That gives you a nice window to work with and shows the client like, hey, this could go over a little bit or whatever. In my pricing estimates, I also make sure to include this is based on an hourly, and this is a certain amount of hours, and if it goes over that, then we will discuss that on site. Okay, now we're going to run this. Took very little time. We are going to go over to the pricing strategy doc. Just go to your Google Docs, paste this in there. This is your pricing doc. And now you can go in and change it anytime. You can always manually change these things if you like. There we go. You get the idea. That took us less than 7 minutes. Okay, we're going to do a sanity check using a competitor sheet that we built in another video. If you haven't done that one, I'll leave the link in the description. The idea is we're not copying anyone. We're just looking for market norms and gaps we can exploit. Okay, so we're going to go back into ChatGPT. And we're going to paste the next prompt in there. All these will be in the description. So same idea again. You go through and make sure you change up the ones that need to be changed up. Once again, if you're not using the light, normal, heavy system that I use, all good. Just change it to what your base tiers are. If you have different tiers, if you only have the one tier, that's fine. Just put the one tier in there. That'll work just fine. Heavy hours, I'm going to go 4. And standard, I'll go 3. Okay, and then we still have the company specific stuff to change. Okay, so now you're going to go to the competitor sheet that we did a while back, and you're going to look for the section with the table here. You're going to copy this into the bottom. You only need 3 outputs from AI. Market norms, 3 to 5 gaps you can exploit, and the decision rules to update your other doc with. Okay, so we're going to hit go. Okay, so there's lots of really good information in here. What I'm going to go do here Okay, great. So we're walking away with a lot of information here. Let's check on the timer. Less than 15 minutes. Probably wasted a couple minutes in there too, but call it 15 minutes. That's not bad. That's the big win here. You now have written pricing rules. Your rates are clearer, your minimums are clearer, your service names and add-ons make much more sense. That means quoting gets faster because you're not redeciding everything every time. You're using a system. And that sets up the next step nicely, because once the pricing logic exists, turning it into a simple estimate tool gets a whole lot easier.